Zoomer Radio, AM 740, downtown Toronto, FM 96.7. Somebody to Love. That's Jefferson Airplane before they were Jefferson Starship and then just plain old Starship, you know. Not a Starship fan?
No. Just leave the Jefferson.
We built this city on rock and roll, not on your top 10 of all time?
No.
That's Brad Long, by the way, chef, star of Restaurant Makeover. His fingerprints are on all kinds of restaurant menus all over town, and he's the author of this, Brad Long on Butter.
And funny enough, there's butter on those fingerprints.
Yes, exactly. Listen, we got you, and we're going to pick your brain a little bit this morning. Can I throw a couple of just like basic questions at you about how to get better in my own kitchen?
You're still talking about cooking, though, right?
Well, I mean, I'll give you a perfect example, and this one bites me in the keister every time. Best way to store pasta once I've cooked it.
Store it?
Yeah.
Eat this stuff. What are you talking about?
I'm not going to eat all of it in one shot.
Okay, well, I mean...
Because it gets that, if you don't get to it within and maybe it's because I'm storing it wrong, if you don't get to it within a day or so, after it starts to get that smell to it, and I start to go, oh, yeah, I probably shouldn't reheat this.
Okay, so here's the thing. I got to throw that out. Please throw that out. As soon as you do this, that smells funny.
Yeah.
That is your ancestors screaming at you, you will die, throw it out, trust your nose.
Okay, all right, good. Is there a way that to help me keep it a little bit longer?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about you made some really good pasta but it's just the pasta and you want to store it for tomorrow's different sauce.
Yeah.
Toss it in some really good olive oil and then pack it really tight and airtight. And you can warm that up. But I mean, pasta is one of those things where actually the answer is no, you can't eat that. You either eat it or it's done.
So just make less of it is what you're saying.
Hardcore thing. I mean, I worked in Italy. I'm responsible to that country to say, make fresh pasta, throw the old stuff out.
Okay. See, that's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, along those lines, for those of us in a certain age group, and we've been having dinner parties for decades, when you invite people over, you want to have something original, right? You want to reinvent the old menu. You don't want to pull out, I've been making the Caesar salad recipe for 40 years. I'm going to make it again.
Right,
How do you approach a revised dinner party menu?
Well, there's two things there. First, no one wants to come to my house, so I don't really have that problem.
They come to your restaurant, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the dinner party thing is now harder because you have a lot of people who are gluten-free and you have a lot of people who are vegetarian or vegan, and there's a lot of different opinions around how all this is done. So, the thing you almost have to do now is have a whole array of ingredients, and then as people come in, say, what are you going to eat? Because people bring their girlfriends or boyfriends, and you don't know them yet, you don't know what they're going to eat. Mm-hmm. So I think the trick right now is to leave yourself some room, because, the last thing you really want to do as a host is to make someone feel uncomfortable. So you as a chef, I could talk about vegan and gluten-free and all the things that impacts in a restaurant. But as a host in your home, you actually want to give them something that's going to make them feel welcome.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Actually, the secret is... you might even want to just run away from it because it's really hard right now. I do a thing in the restaurant where you can basically have anything you want as long as I have those ingredients. And you realize that's not easy for me in a restaurant or the cooks to do. We feel it's a challenge. It is actually a point of pride as a tradesperson to be able to, if you think of a carpenter and you say, can you build me this ornate bookshelf? The carpenter may not like it, but it's a challenge to build it. The same thing should be with food. We should be, that thing where I've worked in a lot of restaurants and I've known a lot of cooks that, get upset if someone's vegetarian or vegan. And I always think, you're not eating it. What the hell do you care?
Right.
So make it really good for them. That's what we're supposed to do, is we're supposed to make it good for other people.
Do you feel the same way about steak well done?
Well, I mean, there's something. Steak well done, it's not terrible. If you have a piece of caribou or Arctic muskox or bison or something like that that has no fat in it and they ask for it well done, I'll actually go out and say, how about I just cook it through for you? Because if I cook it well done, you might as well just eat shoe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
people
but
who
you
like
just said
carbon.
3 words. You said 3 words that I can't. You heard. I saw your eyes do the same thing that mine did when you said these 3 words, Jane. Arctic musk ox. I'm sorry, but they don't carry that at Metro. Where do I find stuff like that?
Exactly.
Okay. So that's not everybody's thing. I'll admit it. You know,
But it certainly is a way to reinvent your meal plan.
Well, I'm hardcore into Canadian.
Yeah.
The Canadian history, what all these cultures that have come to Canada, especially Toronto, and what that's done to food, which is all good, by the way. Arctic muskox, okay, that one's obscure. You can just scratch that off. Forget I said that.
What does it even taste like? Don't tell me it tastes like chicken. What does it taste like?
Oh, it tastes like, if you've ever had moose or deer, any kind of venison, it is that... really, it's clean is one of those words that people hate. It is, I think there's a little bit metallic. There's a little bit of iron. It's not really strong. It's not like it's hard to approach. I could probably, if I put a lot of garlic and herbs on it, I could pass it off as beef. You would just think it was really, really lean beef.
Wow.
It's not scary at all.
Wow.
It is delicious.
No, I'm up for anything like that.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Now I'm interested now. 8:45, Chef Brad Long hanging out with the Happy Gang this morning. We're going to keep picking his brain on your behalf here this morning. Stick around. Right now, we got to get to Toronto traffic. Here's Captain Frank.
A couple of collision spots on our major route commute. Eastbound 401 Express approaching the